Is it hard to put yourself out there because you're used to hiding behind an Instagram handle?
People are like, when does Girl with No Job stop and when does Claudia start? Samuel L. Jackson.
What?
He followed me for like 4 years. Now I want to move forward in like a really positive way and like do good things with it and like highlight good causes and just like not be a piece of shit, which I think I was being before.
I f***ed up and did something.
Oh no.
I Googled you.
Oh God.
And I realized how young you were.
Oh yeah.
And I feel so inadequate.
You know what's so funny? It's coming from the digital space. Like, I'm a grandmother. I'm 24. And then when I hang out with, like, you, everyone's like, you're so young. And I'm like, nobody tells me that anymore. I used to be told I was young all the time. Nobody says it anymore.
But at 24 years old, you're married, you run a successful business, you're on tour, you have one of the most famous IGs in the world. How did that all come to you in less than 3 years?
It's not less than 3 years. So I started Girl with No Job when I was a freshman in college. That was 2012. And I've only really been popular at it for like 3 or 4 years, but it's been a grind for a long time. And I went to a really rigorous dual curriculum high school. So I was used to being in school from like 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. It was long. Then when I got to college, it was like all day, nothing to do. So I got an internship in fashion, which, you know, it's just like not my area of expertise. Oh, we can curse here?
Oh yeah, you can say whatever you want.
They're ruthless. Those bitches, like, they're mean, they're skinny, and it's just like all the offices, they make it so hot. And I started a blog on Tumblr where it would just like talk about the people who were so mean to me at work and just like the trials and tribulations of being an unpaid intern. I got fired, obviously. Like, I was the world's worst intern. I was like, I'm gonna pick my blog back up again, you know? And the OG blog was called Girl with a Job. But then I didn't have a job at the time, so I changed it to Girl with No Job.
Oh, nice.
Just like, I wanted it to be accurate, you know? And I think the name had a lot of to do with the success. It like catches, you're like, Girl with No Job, and people like old people who meet me are confused by what I do. They're like, you don't have a job? And I'm like, yeah.
You're like, I have a job.
I'm like, yes, I'm very busy.
Yes. When did you know that Girl with No Job was something?
I'm shallow and vain. So like when celebrities started following me, and I've always been like really invested in pop culture. The first person to follow me, Joe Jonas.
No.
And like I've always had a special place in my heart for him after that. And he was my favorite Jonas brother, obviously. That was when I was like, oh, real people are taking note. And then when I first started getting paid, I was like, oh, this is legit.
Who was like the most surprising?
Samuel L. Jackson.
What?
I believe he has since unfollowed me, but he followed me for like 4 years.
Did he ever slide in your DMs?
Never. And so I know that when I have the opportunity to DM a celebrity, I need to be reasonable. Like, I can't be thirsting it up. They're going to unfollow me if I'm always DMing them. So I wait for the right moment, you know? Harry Styles follows me, and you bet my ass, like, I definitely got up in the DMs with him.
100%.
Well, I went to his concert, and I just, like, tagged him in an Instagram. I'm like, Harry.
We actually met a celebrity on the same weekend.
Okay, which one?
Gwyneth. She was on my top 3 to, like, run into at yoga.
Unfortunately, I don't go any places where Gwyneth goes because I don't juice and I don't work out. Like, unless I'm seeing her at McDonald's, like, it's not going to happen. So I was really grateful to get the opportunity because I never thought it was going to happen to me, you know? And I think her and I, like, really connected. And maybe I'm just, like, you know, living in a fantasy world, and that's very possible. But I feel like I really got to know her. You know what I mean? And, you know, people have a lot to say about her. I think people think she's like pretentious, the conscious uncoupling, whatever. But just getting to hang out with her and her kids, like, homegirl is legit.
What's the 3 things that people have to emulate your success? Like, what do you think, like, a IG has to have?
Right. I think it has to have good intentions. I know that sounds weird, but it's like people are actively now being like, I want to get followers, I want to get brands, I want to get money, I want people to follow me, I want people to love me, take pictures with me. And that's like
they want the cool. They want
it's so inauthentic, you know?
I feel like it's going to blow up at some point.
It has to.
Like, I feel like
it's a bubble. It's like the housing market.
Exactly.
I think.
What's this tour like?
It's legit.
I feel like going on a comedy tour would be the most terrifying thing in the world.
No, you don't understand. I'm so brave. Like, no kidding. I used to watch Comedians in Cars. You ever watch that Netflix show? And Jerry Seinfeld is always talking about comedians like they're firefighters, like they're the bravest, most important people in our nation. And I'm like, Jerry, you're dramatic. But having been a comedian now for over a year, I'm like, we are brave, you know? It's really scary. And I have the privilege that most comedians don't have of playing to an audience who know me already. Like, I didn't start out on open mics, you know, just doing the grind, which is really hard, but it helps you build the muscle and build, like, the self-esteem to do it.
You just ran into the Olympics without any training.
Exactly. And I'm so grateful for my followers for just showing up. The first few shows, like, they were rough. I'm not going to lie. It's like playing piano or riding a bike, whatever it is. You got to practice.
Yeah.
And practicing in front of a full house is hard. People on the internet are sensitive.
Yeah.
And they want to feel heard and they don't want to be upset. So comedy's the exact opposite. It's like, we don't give a if you're mad, we think this is funny. And I'm in a weird position being in the middle. So I try really, my stuff is not crazy. It's not offensive. It's usually about myself. I'm making fun of myself because I can't offend anyone if I'm calling myself the chubby Jew.
But
you know?
it's relatable.
Right. Well, hopefully.
Is it hard to put yourself out there because you're used to hiding behind an Instagram handle?
No, I love it. Because I feel like sometimes people from the internet don't translate. So it's like they've gotten successful off of hiding behind a keyboard, and then it comes in real life and they have a meet and greet and they're awkward. And I hear about it all the time. So I'm really conscious of that. I feel like exactly who I am on Instagram is exactly who I am in real life. I feel like I'm even more extra in real life.
Yeah.
People are like, when does Girl With No Job stop and when does Claudia start? I'm like, no, bitch, we're the same.
I am fascinated by how quick we as a society want to cancel people.
Me too. Cancel culture is a thing.
And unfortunately for you,
I was momentarily canceled.
what was going through your mind the moment you woke up and that was happening?
It was a really dark 4 days and it just never ended, you know? It was like article, tweet. And I'm the type of person when people are talking about me, like, I can't tune it out. I always read my comments. I like to see what people are saying about me, good and bad. But the volume and the magnitude of it was so big, and I just couldn't stop reading stuff, which is the worst thing you can do, because like hearing people say the most horrible, evil, vile things about you, and they feel justified in doing that, and the world makes them think it's okay to do it. It was really hard. Like, and I'm not trying to make myself a victim or anything, but like nobody deserves that.
You know, I defended you because I felt like you were not in the wrong, and I feel like the cancel culture is so quick and so instantaneous. But was there ever a moment in there where you thought that you were going to give up?
I thought the world was done with me, and I was kind of done with the world too. You know, I was really like thinking about just not working here anymore because I can't handle it. Like, I was really broken, and I'm like, I don't want this for myself. And if I'm gonna have kids, do I want to put them through this? I don't think so.
I would like to go through a list of people who are on the brink of being canceled.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know from you, can they come back from what they're going through?
Yeah, because I feel like cancel culture is terrible, but there are definitely people, R. Kelly, who need to be canceled. But we've sort of just started lumping people together. Like, Kevin Hart is not a murderer. He made a bad joke.
Yes.
A very bad joke.
But he handled it poorly.
Of course. But I don't loop him in the same basket as Louis C.K., who was showing his dick to girls. Like, you know what I mean? Doing something and saying something are two very different things.
I totally agree with you. I really do.
Breaking the law is one thing. Making a bad joke is a whole other thing.
First person up for cancellation, the Justin Smollett show.
Peace, bitch, canceled. It's my personal belief that like he was definitely involved, and it's really unethical. So I mean, I don't know if he will be canceled, but I think he probably should be.
Do you think he can come back from this?
No, it's really bad. Like I feel like nobody in the world knew who Jussie Smollett was before, and now everyone knows who he is in a really negative way. I'd rather go to jail and have everyone think I'm innocent than get off and have everyone think I'm guilty.
Bitch, I will do my time.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'd be really popular in jail.
Right. Oh, I'd be in the Aryan Brotherhood in 2 seconds.
Oh,
like,
God.
I would,
They
like,
would
literally, I'd be their
love you.
publicist.
They
I'd
would
be like,
love
listen,
you.
I need y'all to protect me. I'm going to be your publicist.
Yeah, I would very quickly like climb the food chain and become like head bitch in charge.
Olivia Jade.
No, she didn't do anything. You know, her parents are blood on their hands and did something illegal, but she's just a kid.
Why can't normal people
The
see
world
that?
is divided. This entire thing triggered a lot of people on celebrities and privilege, thinking that they're better than everyone and cutting the line. But at the same time, we let them think that. We give them, we make them into these huge stars, and then we get mad when they do things that normal stars do. Her mom was probably just like, take this picture, and you do what your parents tell you when you're in high school. Okay, she's living under her mom's roof. Her mom says, fill this out. Okay.
Jordan Woods.
No. I mean, I think Kylie should cancel her, but I don't think the world should, you know?
Exactly.
She didn't do anything illegal. She just made a mistake, a drunk mistake, which might I add is so sad. Because how many drunk nights have you had where you maybe yelled at someone or kissed someone or did something bad? And imagine if the entire world was watching.
You being so nice about that. And like kissed someone or yelled at someone. Bitch, I was reading people to filth and I was doing the grown up.
Well, maybe you deserve to be canceled.
That's what we call it. Listen, going through what you went through, coming out of it bigger and better, what would you say to somebody who is in your similar shoes, like Olivia Jade?
Handle it right, you know? Because I totally own the fact that I up and that people were really hurt by things that I said. And I'll always apologize because what I do, my point on this earth is to make people laugh. So if something I said ever upset you, like I'm never going to stop apologizing for that because that's literally the antithesis of why I get out of bed, you know? I mean, I thought I was shouting into a void until you do something bad and everyone who's ever heard of your name speaks ill of you. Half the people who were writing about me, that was the first time they ever wrote about me. I'm like, bitch, where was all this press when I was doing cool things? You know, like nobody cared until I made a mistake. And it was really like a surreal, horrifying nightmare. So I really realized how big and influential my platform was, and now I want to move forward in like a really positive way and like do good things with it and like highlight good causes and just like not be a piece of shit, which I think I was being before.
Yeah.
I paid like a really public price, but also a really private one that I kind of just like took really seriously. You know, I'm like, if I'm gonna come back, I don't want to be like another washed up bad tweets moment. Like I want to do it in an impactful way and really just come back stronger. I feel like what happened with my story is kind of relatable. Like the people who follow me are similar age to me. So we all kind of grew up and in high school times, like Facebook and Twitter were popping off. And, and it's an important lesson to be learned. Like you can say something or write something and then 10 years later see it and feel horrified by it. And HR might call you and be like, we got to talk to you about this thing. It's a real issue. And I feel like I'm weirdly became like the spokesperson for it, and I'm more than happy to do that because it's an important lesson to be learned. Like what you say has implication and you don't realize how much influence you have until something bad happens.
You're absolutely right. You know, the first day I started working here, they were like, yo, we need you to delete like 4 of these tweets. And I was like, what did I do? What did I say?
You don't even remember writing it. I don't have no recollection. I was a different person. I was in this like bubble. I went to college and met like new people who weren't like just Jewish kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And your life changes so much in 5 or 10 years that I don't even remember that person.
Yeah.
You know?
And by the way, mine weren't that terrible. They were shirtless photos on the beach. But I was like getting real thirsty. They were like, this is too thirsty. I'm like, what am I supposed to be in? A burqa on the beach? Like, I'm living on a boat for 4 weeks. Like, what do you want me to do?
You do you. That is uncool.
I'm doing me, boo. And if you see some butt crack, it's cool.
It's meant to be.
It's meant to be.
I agree.
In Hollywood, you have Hollywood friends, and then you have friends. And you don't realize who your Hollywood friends are and who your real friends are until you go through something.
Yes.
What was it like figuring out who those people were for you?
When it comes to people in the industry, everyone wants something from you. Yeah. And I knew that. And I've always been really good about not making like real friendships with people who I just don't have a good feeling about.
Yeah.
And I didn't find really that so many people were like distancing themselves from me because I never let them in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I know, I watch a lot of Kardashians. Like this industry's and this town is and I never wanted to be the person who got like Jordan Woods. Like Jordan Woods has nobody.
She got cut off.
She got cut off and she didn't have any real friends to stick by her except for Jada.
For sure. But if you slept with my baby daddy,
you could cancel me. You could cancel me too.
Oh no, I would cut a bitch off. Cancel you. We would need medical treatment if that happened. When I was living my best life, waking up in, friends' houses and being 23, you were getting married.
Oh yeah.
You got married at 23.
Yes, I got engaged when I was 21 and married when I was 23.
You knew.
Yeah, I mean, me and Ben, by the time we got married, we were together for like 5 years already. And I just didn't want to wait. I mean, like we both knew. What's with the song and dance? Is he going to do it? Do it. Just do it. I have a career to build. I got things to do.
Yeah. You're not looking for fresh D.
No, I love the D.
You love the D.
I love B's D.
But wait, what happens when you're on tour? Because listen, you've been on this sold out tour. You're busy. Is there like some FaceTime nipple? Is there like a sexy moment?
Bitch, in this day and age, you can't like that. I've actually never in my life sent a nude photo, like even to my husband, like because it's so dangerous.
Wait, you can't even trust your husband?
No, it's not that. It's the cloud. I don't need him seeing my nipples. Are you crazy?
I don't with the cloud like that.
I'm about to turn my cloud off and start doing only green text messages.
I don't blame you.
That's what real celebrities do.
I don't blame you. I would send a pigeon.
Yes, very Game of Thrones of you.
I would send a pigeon to like what's
a courier.
A courier. I would send a courier
with like a nude sketch. I'm face tuning myself in the sketch. I'm like, bring my waist in a little, cut the cellulite, perk up the tits.
Are you ever going to have kids?
Of course. I'm talking to someone and he's like, do you want to have kids? I'm like, yeah. He's, when? And I'm like, when I'm 25. And he goes, aren't you turning 25 in 2 months? And I was like, oh, never mind. Now I'm like 27. Yeah. It does change your life and it changes your priorities. And I don't think I'm done yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it sucks that like the world is like, doesn't think a woman could be a CEO and a mom, but it's hard. And I feel like my priorities are going to change. I already have a dog and I have the hardest time leaving my dog on tour. So I can only imagine that's going to be heightened a little bit with a child.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being
here.
Thank
you for having me. I had such a good time. Cheers.
Like what you saw? Hit subscribe. You don't want to miss any new episodes of Just a Sip, and you can catch up on any past episodes. The tea was hot, I'm telling you.